Here's how Double Dragon is going to go from here on. I lose my mind playing this game for hours at a time. And so the plan, henceforth, similar to arcade-styled games that we've played in the past, games that have hard game overs without continues, where you have to get through it all in, 1 credit or equivalent on a home console. We're going to give it one go today. If today's not the day, next time we stream, we'll do it again. Every stream, one attempt, working our way through NES Double Dragon. Mind you, remember, we have done a 2-credit clear of the arcade game. So, my obligation, my duty for Double Dragon here on this channel has been fulfilled. The NES port is exciting to me because Technos developed it directly, and you start to reach this divergence point with Double Dragon 2 and then 3, where the NES games kind of take on their own full identity. And even right here, you're getting like action RPG stuff in the mix. It's a really different feeling game than the arcade game. But it is this Trade West published, Technos developed version that then gets morphed into like Battletoads and Double Dragon, which is a game that I desperately want to check out. I think that kind of early 90s crossover is very fun. So while we have done the arcade version, I do want to beat NES Double Dragon as well. Now, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to give it a go. It seemed like my controller was being a little funky. We might run into problems here. I might have to reassign the buttons. Hang on. Seems good. Seems good. Seems good. Okay. So one run a day. One run a day, full attempts. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Double Dragon. And then after this for the day, I'm very excited to continue Marathon. As I was saying earlier, we started earlier this week, Friday night, and dude, really fun game. Really like atmospheric, spooky. I'm having a blast with it. I can't wait to... What are you doing up there? She's having fun. Hey, what? She was having a ball. Yeah, Marathon has been super fun. I'm excited to keep that going. Just keeping everything in order here for Caprolog Season 1. Another game that I want to keep going through. We did beat Hollow Knight with the original, just like plain Jane ending. I do want to go back and do the true ending. We have done quite a lot of grub hunting. I did all the Colosseums. I'm at 87% of 100% completion. But in order to get that 100%, we are going to need to go through for the other 2 endings. And so that's something we got to work on. I'm having fun. I really like the way that things are flowing right now. For the most part, I have been taking notes of my own, both physical and mental notes about what I want to do as we kind of adjust to this season structure as opposed to randomly selected games. There are certain things that I miss. There are certain things that I, have stopped doing for one reason or another that I want to get back to. I know I've talked about What You Playing Wednesday. We'll probably make a return pretty soon. And just other stuff that I'm kind of trying to figure out how I want everything structured. But all things considered, I really like this lineup of games that we've got going on. I really am just having a good time. So I hope you guys are too. I'm dying for Outer Wilds DLC. All right, let me tell you what's going on with that. And this will be an exclusive for this stream because I do want to keep it a bit of a secret. How do I want to say this? I have decided for the Goated Quest games, so Catherine, The Note, Legend of Legaia, Outer Wilds DLC. That's our 4. I will not be streaming them. You should subscribe to the Goated Quest time capsule, is what I'm trying to say. And I know you are. I'm saying anybody else that's interested in those, they will get full playthroughs. They will get full recorded playthroughs. But because they're from a bygone era, I just subscribe to the time capsule is what I'm trying to say. Will be played in full. Will have full circumstance playthroughs. But again, time capsule. Because they are technically, not Caprolog experiencers or whatever. Too hot for Twitch TV. Yeah, sign up for my Kick. That was something that I've been thinking of for like a while, as far as doing that as for the structure of those. My original plan, and time got away from me, was to, in those months where I was setting up the channel at the end of last year, kind of getting used to Chicago, etc., I was going to record them just privately and just do them Outer Wilds for the best, check and get ready, but I missed the other 2 games having that live interaction. Now here's the thing. Again, YouTube does have live streaming, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be streamed, right? It might be my first dip in the water of a YouTube live stream, right? There's possibility there. There's an idea in my head, but ultimately, because I miss them too. I've been thinking about The Note. The Note is one of the games that I talked to Caveman about during GDQ. Because the first time I saw Caveman at GDQ, we talked at AGDQ 2024 and kind of just like gushed about Mizurna Falls and other PlayStation 1 games. And so when I saw them this time at SGDQ, they were like, "You got any weird fucking PS1 games for me?" That was like one of the first things they said. And I was talking to him like, "Oh, yeah, The Note. It's a first-person survival horror that has full blinking." And they're like, "No shit, that sounds horrible." I'm like, "It's pretty cool, I wouldn't call it horrible, but imagine if Goated Quest continued on YouTube and you're just 2 streamers now. Holy moly. All of the games that started on Goated Quest continue on Goated Quest. Like, that's where Burnout 3 has to be, because that was a Goated Quest franchise. And if I want to play it here, I gotta start from Burnout 1 again. We're thinking. No, there are other considerations. I'll just talk about it. A couple of things. Let me just clear my mind while we're here playing Double Dragon before I get into the marathon mines and it becomes a lot more involved. One of the things, what's up, Cookie Jar? One of the things that in this season structure, that I miss about the history of this channel, that I moved on from for reasons that made a lot of sense, that were a very good idea for the time, for self-preservation and etc., but I desperately miss. And it's funny that I'm playing Double Dragon right now, because this is the game that led me to that epiphany. I could not tell you. I think it's Kazuhisa Yoshimoto? Kazuhisa Yoshimoto. No, not right. See, that's what I'm saying. Is it... Kazuhisa Hashimoto is the Konami Code guy. See, that's the problem. It is Yoshihisa Kishimoto. is the creator of Double Dragon. I realized when I was at the water park a couple of weeks ago that I did not know that. And it like, I don't want to say it like existentially terrified me or anything, but it's like I've strayed so far from the light of what this channel was to me, trying to get things set up and keep things flowing. And going in for this Moby Games, Wikipedia, IGDB run, or the companions, or everything like that. I want to get back to prep kits in one way or another. And I think now that I have an actual season format where I can have like I can already like plan for season 2 right now, right? It's been over a year since I've done one of those. Far Cry was the last one. And yeah, get back to the full, talk about it. Get into the history of these games. Because I realized, like, not knowing the creator of Double Dragon made me so sad. And it's like, I'm still doing a lot of history of these games, still digging in and finding old magazine ads and stuff like that. But there's a lot about the structure. And I remember Earth Nuggets, I remember you particularly. Pac-Man World 2. Do you remember the guy's name in Pac-Man World 2 that you said you'd never forget? Do you remember their name? I'm curious if you do, because I do, and it's very funny. And I'm curious if it's in your head the way that it's in my head, because the way that those prep kits embedded themselves into my psyche. Yeah, called out. It was Glenn Colgate. Was a Pac-Man World 2 guy. And you're like, I forget what you said exactly, but it was like, man, this channel is the only place where I'd never know Glenn Colgate, and now I'll never forget Glenn Colgate. And I've been thinking about like just stuff like that, just the stupid names that we've learned. Not stupid, obviously, but you know what I mean. The history of these games is so important. And like you said, Nancy, I'm not trying to cram it in a weekend or, a 5-day turnaround time. You know what games we've been playing since like April, and even like above and beyond that, during the Steam sale, I bought 2 games for season 2. So like, I know what I want to do for next season right now. At least one game. I've already purchased it. And so don't dig into my Steam purchases if you are friends with me on Steam. That would not be cool. I'm telling you this in confidence. Watch out for the bugles. Yeah, we got him here. Co-developed by Johnny Sensodyne. What's up, Tracker? I know, ridiculous name. But it is a very real name. Oh. That's not bad. Did I miss the rock completely by doing that? Let's go. Perfect. Cool. More bugles. And these ones are angry. Okay, we're good. Same thing. We want to drop down here because if I jump down, they get the first hit on me. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff. And so being able to have more time and being able to get things structured in a way where like I can already start doing research for season 2 stuff or do all that. I don't want to put it into this season. Just because I don't want things to seem, like too chaotic and like half the season's done one way, half the season's done another way. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to establish growing pains and figuring out, because I do think this season structure is stronger. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think getting attached and connected to the games long term is exciting. Another thing that I won't be doing again as far as the seasons are concerned, I will not be doing Discord forums. I think they are an eyesore. I think they are large and ugly and gross, and I keep wanting to make them work pretty desperately because I like the idea, but I think in execution, I think it fragments discussion pretty deeply, and it's very isolating and very, very much a bummer. So on the Discord, I'm going to be moving away from... I'll still do it for the photo albums. I think that the forum structure is perfect for photo albums. Like really perfect for photo albums. But as far as everything else, it's just kind of horrible, I'll be honest. I think it really sucks. This is going to be tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these guys. Watch out for knives. What the? I'm actually okay with that. We're gonna skip this guy. We're probably gonna lose a life here, but I'm not super worried about losing a life here. It doesn't really matter, you know, all things considered, this is a pretty decent spot to lose that first life. Yeah. So I'm not super worried about that. That's fine. I would be very grateful, as we're trying to figure this out, as I'm moving in, I'm in a new place, everything's different, my whole life is different, streaming just feels a little bit different, just because of the changes in my personal life, it's not, I don't want to say it's better or worse, but it's not the same. Feedback, structural stuff, curiosities, what you are enjoying or not, all of that sort of suggestion type flow structure is very valuable to me. And so if anybody's been like thinking about stuff on the back end, positive or negative, whether you like stuff or dislike stuff or whatever, know that I am relatively sensitive. And so I don't want anybody to get like, okay, time for me to, you know, get rude. But as I'm trying to figure everything out and as I'm establishing to, you know, both 2025 as well as a new city and everything else, and 4 years into this, damn. I'm curious to see and what people think. Another thing that I do want to do for the next season, while I'm thinking about it, is bump things down to 10 games as opposed to 15. I think 15 is too many. And another thing I don't really want to do is reveal them all up front. I kind of overestimated how many people would want to play along, right? Like, I think Pokemon and Xenogears, people were really eager to be like, I'm going to play this on my own time alongside you. And I was like, oh, people might also want to do that for whatever, you know? Double Dragon. And it just isn't the case. And so there are a lot of quiet channels, and that I kind of overestimated. And so I'll probably keep things relatively secret and reveal the games like the week of and be like, you know, this week it's whatever and I'm excited to play it. But these are just my thoughts. These are the kind of stuff that I've been thinking of over here. Because I really do like the structure. I really do, I love the channel. I want to get back to schedule, as opposed to just hopping on with a 15-minute heads up. That's something, I really don't like it. I'm sorry that I've been doing it. It's just, everything's so chaotic right now that I just I want to kind of stream when I can, but not commit to stuff that I can't commit to. What else? Trying to think about what else. I don't know. Overall, I mean, I've been having a ton of fun with Hollow Knight. I think the structure for Hollow Knight and the patches is going to be really, really fun to roll out the patches as they happen. Check back into that almost like we did with like Walking Dead way back when, where we did one a month. I think it's going to be fun, especially after we finish up the main game. I don't know. I'm having a good time. I really am like very excited to be playing these games at the level and the pace that we've been playing them. But there are definitely like little things structurally that I want to just do a better job of, I guess. Oh, shit. God damn it. Yeah, so I have to figure out that guy's path. I don't necessarily know how we fight that guy with the gun. I think you're doing great. I'm amazed at the commitment. I appreciate that, Nancy. I really do. I want things, you know me. I want things to be great. I want somebody to get as excited for this as they are for Donkey Kong Bonanza. And by this, I mean 1987 Double Dragon, right? And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. I find myself very excited for something like Marathon, and I'm just stoked to get back into Marathon, stream over stream. It's a fun place to be. Hang on. Okay. But as I continue to establish stuff and learn how I want everything to flow, I don't know. I like the seasons. I will say that. I think that the seasons are going to be very strong. Feels a lot better than learning something 5 days before. As much as it's really exciting to learn something 5 days before and you kind of have that natural momentum. Hang on. I'm dead. Fuck. Alright, well. It's so anticlimactic. You get near him with that gun, one pop, and you're done. That was a super casual talking about the channel, meta discussion of the channel right there to the final boss without even thinking about it. It's just going to come in time, right? We're just going to have to keep whittling away at it. Maybe we don't lose that first life the way we lost that first life. Maybe we get a good wall RNG and we can just jump through without a problem, etc., etc., etc. We're going to get it. We're going to get it, but I think trying to force it is the wrong move. Both as far as what this era of games represents, as well as our own psyche and sanity. I think getting that game over, turning the NES off, and popping in another game is the way to play Double Dragon. So, another run of Double Dragon, next stream, and we'll just be whittling away at it. We'll just be whittling away at it. Let's kick things over to Marathon. But if you're watching the Double Dragon VOD, we'll get him next time.